Greetings everyone, this is Lightstar. Welcome back, and I want to wish you all a very happy holiday season for those of you who are celebrating at this time of year. I hope your families and all of you are having a wonderful time and send you lots of brilliant light as well. So today we are going to do a couple of things. One of them is talking about my Oracle Consciousness reading that I always do every season, and we're going to be coming up on the winter of 2019. So we're going to be doing the winter Oracle Consciousness reading. And so I want to also, just before we get into all of that, I want to say thank you to all of you who were on my last live YouTube video. It was really a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing those, and I will be wanting to do some more of them in 2019. And so just bear with me as I get the logistics and the time to actually fit in to do those live, because I really enjoy them and I really like interacting with all of you as well. So, so look forward to that. Some more coming. And again, for those of you who have not been on my website yet, go check it out, because I just updated my website. It's brand new, beautiful new look, and I would love for all of you guys to go check it all out. Lots of great stuff on there as well, but we can talk about that later. But wanting to just again get back to our topic today. So what I like to do with these Oracle Consciousness readings, before we dive into the winter, I want to just look back a little bit at what we are coming out of from our last Oracle Consciousness reading, which was in the fall of 2018. And so we're going to look at like what's coming up for that, what we kind of just come out of. And also, because we're also at the end of the year right now, this is also a special time for review of everything, as well as what we're moving out of in that year. So I'm not going to do a whole Oracle Consciousness reading for those things, but I am going to use my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards, which are what I always use for these. These are my own creation, and they are a very powerful tool for you all to utilize to actually increase your own strength, your own empowerment with your own intuition in many different ways. So I'm going to use them here, and they're also available on my website for sale as well. So let's just go diving in here. What I want to start with is I first want to share a little bit about what I feel is coming, and what the cards are showing is coming for as what we are moving out of for the fall of 2018. So what did we learn? Like, what were we coming, moving away from, but what did we learn? Well, the first thing that we get is solar portal. And the solar portal here is all about what? Power. It's all about power. And the secondary card that I chose for this is, I chose a secondary. In this particular position, I was guided to get two different cards. Okay, so the first one is solar portal. We'll talk about it a little bit. This is basically power. Okay, this is also having to do with manipulation of power, which haven't we been seeing a lot of that going on around in this world? Now, my Oracle Consciousness readings, again, are for the overview for the consciousness, not individual personal situations, but sometimes it can actually lead into that as well, so it's very meaningful for our personal lives. But the power center, which is where we all reside when we are empowered, when we feel strong, when we feel like we are the light of the sun, right? With the sunlight just lighting up with us, and we have energy and we feel good about our lives. And so I feel that that's a component here. But what I want to put in here is the secondary card, which they wanted me to pull here. And that one is the Guardians. Now the Guardians have more on that sort of level of protection, I guess you will, or guarding, or hey, warnings, okay? Warning, Will Robinson, warning. So this is having to do with a little bit of more shielding of energy, okay? So what I feel this is telling us is that we are coming out of a place of, we've been working on a lot of things to empower us, things that are going to empower us on an internal level. And we have been kind of guarded around that. We're either guarding our power because we're afraid, so we step into fear, or there's other different things that are happening in our lives that are sort of making it difficult for us to stand in our power or to be empowered. And so these are what energies are kind of lifting in that way. Okay, we've been working a lot on this, and we will continue to work on this. It's not like we're done, we're never gonna do that again. But I do feel like there's a movement where we just took a big chunk out of it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so that's kind of the movement out of the fall of 2018 energies. Now, when I look at the overall, okay, so we're looking at the overall of 2019. I'm sorry, 2018. Sorry if I get these mixed up in this video. 2018, the whole entire year, okay? Because I wanted to ask, what are we sort of wrapping up for this year in just a summary of one thing that could really be impactful, okay? And what comes up for that is Gaian Awakening. Now this card's really interesting. It has to do with preparing, okay? There's a lot of preparation. This could have to also do with people moving around, getting settled in their right place with, you know, Mother Gaia drawing who she wants to be where. So it's like little chess pieces moving around, getting you, and maybe you have been called to possibly move or be in a different location or something of that nature. So this is preparing us, and there's a lot of spiritual preparedness in this card as well. So spiritually we are being prepared for something. We have been preparing, and we are going to continue to be prepared. But I feel we're also getting the message, because it's in the position of wrapping up, that we are prepared. So meaning we have armed ourselves with what we need in order to step forward into the new kinds of energies that are coming up for 2019, which we'll get into. But this is just telling us it's kind of like we've gone through a lot to relocate or to inner relocate what needs to be sort of shed, let go of, and then where do we need to be shifting, and then getting ourselves kind of prepared for what the new, even more higher frequencies that are coming in. We've been doing this for many years. Now I feel we're gonna step forward into yet another wave, if you will. So we've been preparing. So we've done a lot of work on ourselves. We've done a lot of work on our power and our center, and becoming centered, and trying to deal with the sort of being off balance and having to put up our shields and our guards for all this stuff that's going on in the world. Okay, we're having a lot of disclosure coming out, and so there's just been like a, oh wow, oh geez, oh my goodness, you know? Feels like there's a lot of things going on that are coming out, which is good, and then yet there's also this kind of feeling like you have to kind of close yourself off in some ways to shield from all of it. And so that's kind of the overview. I don't want to spend too much more time on that, but that's what we're coming out of. And now, as we move forward into the winter of 2019, okay, this is how I'm doing these readings in this particular one, especially is splitting it up into several different segments of the winter. So it's like the first part of the winter, and then the second half, and then the third half is what I'm going to be doing as far as providing some insight here. So it's like dividing it up into three sections. And the first section would kind of start, you know, around the solstice and then go into the first part. So we're kind of dividing it. But the first part, as we step out of the gate, what we're going to be experiencing, what energies are coming through, is Galactic Guidance. Now this is really interesting too, because I feel this card also represents that we will be receiving more guidance, more connections, more communication with our galactic friends, the ones that we are connected with, some of you really connected with, and will be getting even greater connections with on an individual basis, but on a global consciousness overview, it's really signaling more of, I feel, that the Galactics stepping in to do, to help, okay? Now, on the larger scope of things, there's a lot of things going on that, you know, and they've always been sort of this free will zone where they won't step forward and just kind of take over and help us all with everything, because we need to kind of do it ourselves as a consciousness, as a community here. Humanity here has to step forward and to lift up and to rise up out of all, you know, so-called darkness and the chaos and all of that stuff. We have to do that, okay, on an individual basis. And then eventually, as we are grouping together, we find that our power comes together in a group energy, and we have much more power with all of our collective energies. So I feel the galactic energy is coming forward to provide some assistance in where they have maybe not provided it as much in the front end of things, where we may be seeing some of this happening. Some of this may happen, like I said, coming in and being within us, amongst us. You know, whether or not you believe it or not, we're not the only beings down here. So, and even here in our world now, okay, there are many different hybrids that are in these different places, and they are being placed in places of government, places of the same places that the dark energies are. So are the light and the galactics that are here to assist, and the federations that are here to assist. I feel they're kind of getting a green light a little bit to step forward and assist a little bit more, because things are getting, just say, a bit more heated, because everything's coming to a head. All of the energy coming out, the transparency, the disclosure stuff, everything's coming out into the open, and which is coming into the Aquarian age. So that's the good thing, and also the golden age. So we're all kind of getting into a great period of time. So we need some assistance as well on the higher levels. So I feel that's what's coming. Now, if we move into the sort of second section of the winter, you know, as this moving into, I'm not going to say exactly when, but if you just say shifting into, we're not out of the winter yet, but now we're kind of right in the heart of winter. And then we get a boost of emergence. And the emergence is about reinventing. Okay, so we are going to get an ability to see some movement in reinventing this world. How do we want this place to look? Okay, some of the energies are still going to be kind of chaotic, because in the midst of creating, it's like I want you to imagine sort of a creation energy of just this sort of whirlwind, right? It's kind of messy, everything's just kind of swirling around, and then it gets created. Well, we're not there yet, so there's going to be a little bit of that sort of energy that's moving around and shifting, but I feel we get a sense of the newness really coming forward in the midst of all of it. So it's an exciting time for us to, what do we really want as a consciousness? You know, what do we really want? What do we want to create? And it's also analogous to the beginning of the year, because we're stepping out going, what do we want to do now? You know, what do we want in this world? What do we want for our own selves, yes, and into our own lives, and what do we want to create? But what do we want to create on a global scale to have that more in a bit of clarity? And, you know, we're also in this place of kind of going through that resurrection, that magician, if you will, to create yourself anew. And that energy frequency is also going to help a lot of the creative projects. So I feel new creative projects coming on the scene in the beginning of that push, or in the middle of winter, but in the beginning of that push forward for all the creative projects which have been maybe somewhat stagnating or not moving forward, or just sitting there, or maybe it's something new. But I feel this resurgence, reemergence of some creativity that moves onto the scene, that really gets in action in that middle part of winter. And then when we move a little bit into the tail end of winter, we get contemplation. Now, this is a time of a little bit more into silence, So we're kind of coming into that place where we come out of the winter, out of the sort of the time where we go within, and everything just kind of sits, gestates, moves a little, but yet is still kind of sitting in this experience of silence. And in the silence is where we sometimes create some of our greatest attributes, some of our greatest things come out of the silence and in the nothingness in a way. But we also are getting this picture here of learning to let go and learning to not push things forward if they're not going the way you want them to in this world. To not push so hard, but sometimes to just it's like what I used to say to Dance with Pear all the time, where I used to say be in quiet power. Big on this quiet power thing, where it's not like you have to show everybody, and everybody goes through this, where it's like, I did this, I do this, I do this, but then we actually have to come to a place of where we are okay with that. We are in our place, we are in our power spot, and then we have to be doing that so much, but we can be in quiet power, which is a beautiful thing. And I feel that as a consciousness, this is more on the consciousness level, where we're getting to that place where we can kind of quiet a little bit and see what just happened. Now I feel like we're gonna have a lot of things coming out in the winter. There's gonna be things popping up, the government, there's things gonna be coming out like crazy. There's gonna be a lot of things going on. So there's like a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, but also a lot of clarity. And that's where I feel we have done a lot of our work, a lot of our energy that has been projecting out into the consciousness to clean up Mother Earth, to clean up some of the problems on our planet, to really have it be once and for all, to understand what we're going through. But it isn't going to be easy. And so there is going to be some of that discordance, disharmony, that we still are going to have to go through on a larger scope before we can begin to heal from some of the traumatic things that perhaps have been happening and will be coming out and will probably shock a lot of people, so that we want to make sure everybody's in their right place, in their right state of being and their state of silence, and somewhat centered and balanced, so that we don't get pushed off completely balance, okay, or out of harmony completely. So that's what's coming, what I see in the 2019 beginning phase of the the push out of the gate, and also into the winter time. Now I did choose an overall card because I kind of wanted to see what's the overview of the whole winter outlook here, and what I get is exploration. So in a short sense, this card is sometimes saying, we're not going to tell you. There's you have to go down the rabbit hole yourself and to explore, but the main thing is to have courage to do that, to have courage to step forward into the unknown, into the place that you just have no idea what's going to happen, but you're willing to step forward and you're willing to go through because you just intuitively know that this is the right thing to do. So in your individual lives, you can do that, applying this, actually going forward with projects, actually making a step forward into something that you aren't sure about, but you feel is the right direction. Go with it, step forward, and make the step, not maybe knowing what the outcome is going to be and what the end result might look like. Sometimes it doesn't matter, because it's the journey that you were going on that is the most important part of it. So we want to honor and allow ourselves and have that courage to be in our power, to step forward, and to understand that we may be going through some rocky roads with our own lives, with the disclosure and everything coming out into the open. There's more that's coming, but just know that you are able to center and balance your own energy frequency at any time, anywhere. So no matter what is going on outside of you, what's going on inside of you is the place that you focus on in centering and balance, because at that place you can then be your most effective self to help others. It's very difficult to help another when you are chaotic inside of yourself and you're not stable and not balanced. Very difficult to do that. So what I say is to go here first, center and balance, so that you can handle all the chaos and the confusion and everything maybe going sideways, okay? So this is what I see is just kind of the overview of the Oracle consciousness reading for winter. But we again are going into the time period of releasing and letting go everything of this year and taking what we want to take with us into the next year. So it's a very powerful time. Again, this is the time where we do our New Year's resolutions, or going to creating those. It's a good idea to do that. I mean, I know that it may sound cliche to sit down and actually go through the year, but it's actually very helpful and very healthy to see what you want to release, see what you want to let go of, and to put forward the intentions of what your next steps forward into this beautiful new year that is going to come into our fruition. We're going into a bit more of a creative year than we have been too. So on a personal note, I do feel that's coming, and I will have another channeled message that's going to be coming up. I'm not sure, again, timing wise, if it may come before this, if it's coming before this one or after this one, but I'm going to try to get them both out. And that is a channeled message coming from Master Hilarion about what is coming for 2019. So he talks a bit about that as well, just as a little snippet of what's coming up. So with that said, I just want to thank you guys for being here, for being you. If you'd like to work with me more on a personal level, you can check out my website, which is lightstarcreations.com, where I have loads of goodies for you on there with my artwork and all different ways that you can purchase my own artwork and also get custom art for you. So I do a lot of custom art activations as well as light language activations, and sometimes those are combined. And I have all sorts of sessions that you can work with me personally on. Sometimes I do get booked up, so just make sure that you know that. Sometimes it's a month or two in advance. It just depends on the timing, so you can prepare ahead. Obviously, it's a great time to get going in the new year with getting that set intention of what's going to be coming forward as well. So you can go onto my website and look at all the goodies, buy my Oracle Magical Dimensions Oracle cards, or if you would like to look at some of my, like I said, custom art sessions. I have my own artwork out there for sale in different ways that you can purchase that. And some new stuff coming for 2019, which I'm not going to talk about now because I don't want to spoil it, but I will be back sharing that more in 2019 as well. So I believe that is a wrap for today. I love you all, and I want to wish you a very, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year for all of you stepping forward, because everybody's going into this new year, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come forward. And I will see you guys very soon. So as always, sending lots of love and blessings to you all from the Galactics, the Elementals, the Angels, and the Fairies. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.